Now it's 1 o'clock. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I think we should start our parallel session 3. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending the 7th International Symposium of Applied Chemistry. So I just read I'm Nina Artanti. I will be the moderator for this parallel session C, food processing technology and natural product. And I will read the rules for the attendee is please have stable internet connection. Make sure that your computer has a working camera and audio device. The chat room only available for delivering question to the ongoing discussion in the session, requesting for changing or moving to another breakthrough room in the parallel session, and announcement delivered by the organizing committees. Don't forget to fulfill the list of attendees that we share in the chat room. If you would like to change the room, please inform our co-hosts and they will assign you to the room of your choice. For question and answer, please kindly use this format. Your name, _ institution, and then to which presenter name, and then write your question. At this session, we have 4 presenters first, and then question and answer, followed by another 3 presenters, and then continue with question and answer. I think I will just check for the first 4 presenters if all already coming. First one is Miss Hakiki Melanie. Yes, okay, I saw you. And then Miss Yati Mariati. Yes, thank you. And Miss Dini Ariani. Miss Dini Ariani. Is somebody else coming for on behalf of Miss Dini Ariani? Not in yet, okay. And number 4 is Miss Christina Litai. Hang on. So Miss Nur Artika will presenting on behalf of Miss Kara. Actually, the presentation already on the video. So I think we just start for the first presentation. There will be presented by Ms. Hakiki Melani from Research Center from Chemistry. The title is Partial Purification of Peroxidase from Kailan Brassica olearaceae varietas albogabra by micro and ultrafiltration membrane. Co-host, please the video.
For giving me time to present one of our research with title Partial Purification of Peroxidase from Kailan by Micro and Ultrafiltration Membrane. Peroxidase represents a large oxidoreductase known to catalyze the oxidation of substrate, including inorganic and organic, using the hydrogen peroxide as the electron acceptor. This enzyme have a common catalytic mechanism for the degradation of hydrogen peroxide, which is a 2-electron oxidation reduction with the 3 distinct steps. These enzymes are widely found in plants, animals, and microorganisms, and they have an essential function in plants as a plant hormone regulation, defense mechanisms, plant growth regulation, lignin biosynthesis, enzymatic browning of the phenols. They are also used as a catalyst in the various applications, including clinical biochemistry and immunoenzyme assays, wastewater treatment, synthesis of aromatic compounds, peroxide removal, or process in food and industrial waste. Enzyme purification is an essential step after the enzyme extraction. The purification process specifies the purity of the enzyme and influences the overall processing feasibility and efficiency. The conventional purification methods require complex, high-energy, and chemically processed, such as salt and solvent precipitation and chromatography. This method has implicit drawbacks such as scale-up problems, high cost when applied at industrial scale, low recovery, and environmental problems. Membrane separation processing, including microfiltration and ultrafiltration, is commonly applied for concentration purposes. These methods offers several benefits compared to the conventional purification, including practical since it using the simple size exclusion system and lower operating costs, easy to scale up with high throughput and environmental friendly. In this study, microfiltration and ultrafiltration were used to isolate and partially purify of peroxidase from kaolin, and the effect of psychochemical condition, pH, temperature on peroxidase were examined. And the purity and the peroxidase activity of enzyme activity of peroxidase was also determined. The method of this study, first, kaolin is cut into small pieces and homogenized with phosphate buffer at pH 7 with ratio 1:1. And then the filtered was collected by centrifugation at 8,000 RPM for 15 minutes. The precipitation of protein was carried out using ammonium sulfate, and the precipitate was collected by centrifugation at 800 RPM for 30 minutes at 4 degrees Celsius after 1 hour and redissolved with phosphate buffer for the further process. The partial purification was continued by using the microfiltration and ultrafiltration with pore size 0.15 micrometer and 100,000 molecular weight cutoff. The system operated for membrane filtration system were using rotation speed at 400 RPM at constant pressure for TIFSIA, and for UF system, it is operated at rotation speed 200, 300, and 400 RPM with a constant pressure at 40 PSIA. The permeate and retentate were collected and analyzed for the peroxidase activity, specific activity, optimum pH, optimum temperature, and also SDS pH analysis. To obtain the partially purified peroxidase, a brief summary of the purification steps and information on the degree of purification was shown on this table. As we can see, the ammonium sulfate precipitation were resulted in the nearly twice of the crude enzyme. Ammonium sulfate precipitation was selected as the initial purification step as it has a good separation and also higher stability and inhibit protease activity. It can be seen that peroxidase activity from microfiltration and ultrafiltration are practically better than those obtained from the ammonium sulfate precipitation, especially in specific activity and purification. Peroxidase purified by MF and UF were achieved to nearly 5 and 10-fold compared to crude enzyme and ammonium sulfate precipitation. To obtain the partial purification of peroxidase by microfiltration, crude enzyme from ammonium sulfate precipitation was subjected to microfiltration and ultrafiltration. The pre-filtration on microfiltration was conducted as a necessary step before ultrafiltration. It was observed that during filtration, the peroxidase was almost retained in the retentate, ranging from 310 to 392 units per milligram. In the ultrafiltration, the obtained extract from microfiltration was concentrated as retentate using the 100 as a feed using a 100,000 molecular weight cut-off membrane, and this process is expected to remove the smaller molecules such as salt, glycosides, and water content in permeate. The peroxidase specific activity resulted in the ultrafiltration retentate ranging from 266 to 749 units per milligram. The specific activity was decreased with the increase of the rotation speed due to the accumulation of insoluble solids on the membrane surface or into the membrane pores, or known as the membrane folding. pH is one of the most significant factors to influence enzyme activity. The pH can alter the ionization attributes at amino acid side chains. In this study, the peroxidase has an optimum pH value of 6 in a phosphate buffer with the guaiacol as substrate. This result is in accordance with the previous results that states that the optimum pH of peroxidase from plants were ranging from 6 to 6.5. Meanwhile, the temperature for the peroxidase from Thailand has an optimum at 27 degrees Celsius. An increase in the temperature will cause a loss of peroxidase activity due to the unfolding of the enzyme and also the alteration of the interaction between the enzyme and the substrate. The SDS page analysis was done to separate protein based on their properties of electrophoretic mobility. As we can see on this picture, based on the result of the SDS page analysis, the peroxidase from the ultrafiltration can be further purified using chromatography, since it gives a relatively good and clear separation of proton bands. Peroxidase purified from the fruits and vegetables have a different molecular weights depending on the purified source, ranging from 35 to 95 kilodalton. The conclusion of this study is peroxidase from Thailand has been successfully partially purified by micro and ultrafiltration membrane. Peroxidase from Thailand found to have an optimum pH and temperature of 6 and 27 degrees Celsius. A membrane-based process, MF and UF, on peroxidase purification increased the specific activity by nearly 5 and 10-fold compared to those crude enzymes. Membrane technology has a potential and attractive purification methods for enzyme production. I will conclude this presentation and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for the very good presentation from Ms. Akiki Melani. So we go to the next presentation by Ms. Yati Mariati with the title Effect of Bananas Type and Fermentation Time on Pancreatic Lipase Inhibitory Activity and Chemical Parameters of Banana Fermentation Beverage. The co-host, please start the video. Thank you.
And the result of our research. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First, I will introduce myself. My name is Yati Mariati from Research Center for Chemistry. I will present the result of our research. with the title The Effect of Banana Variety and Fermentation Time on Pancreatic Lipase Inhibitory Activity and Chemical Properties of Banana Fermentation Beverage. As background, an unhealthy lifestyle can lead to various diseases. One of them is obesity. Obesity has become a global health issue. Obesity is a condition of excess body fat that increases the likelihood of various cardiovascular diseases. One of the mechanisms successful in the therapeutic management of obesity is to inhibit fat absorption by pancreatic lipase inhibitors in the digestive tract. Chemical drugs have negative effect if consumed continuously. So traditional medicine is best to use. For that, effort to keep exercise fat accumulation in the body is to consume food or functional beverage as a natural way. In this study, we utilize existing natural resources, namely bananas. Bananas are fruits that contain bioactive compounds that can be beneficial to health, such as soluble dietary fiber, pectin, polyphenol, alkaloid, and flavonoid as antioxidant. These bioactive compounds have physiological effects such as anti-obesity and lipid modulating properties. Here, the pectin composition have been recommended for lowering lipid. It has been reported by Wei et al. In 2021 that dietary modification increasing banana has anti-obesity effect and lipid modulating properties. In this study, various types of banana will be fermented were used by consortium of bacteria and yeast or SCOBY. For this reason, the aim of this research is to develop one of the healthy food product from fermented bananas, which was fermented by a consortium of bacteria and yeast to obtain a healthy beverage in an effort to prevent degenerative diseases, especially as a reduction in obesity. This is a material and method for preparation process of fermentation beverage from banana. In our study, we use a variety of bananas, specifically Ambon, Bok, or Raja bananas. The process was start by sorting and peeling the skin, the balancing, and then preparing process at a certain ratio of 1 part banana and 6 parts water. After that, we mixer was filter, and then each filtrate was pasteurized. After that, cooling and put in jar, and then the banana fruit was inoculating with a consortium of bacteria and yeast with concentration 10% and sucrose 10% and fermentation time of 0 to 15 days with an interval of 3 days. Then the fermentation result of each banana's beverage were analyzed in terms of pancreatic lipase inhibitory activity, determination of polyphenol content, determination scavenging activity assay, which the pH, and then pH measurement acidity, reducing sugar, and total acid. The following is the result of chemical characterization of banana extract before fermentation process. The table shows that all three types banana before fermentation and have inhibitory activity of pancreatic and high antioxidant. Ambon banana extract before fermentation had a high lipase inhibitory activity compared to the other types of banana. And the antioxidant activity and total polyphenol content, the higher was in kepok bananas extract juice. The following show in figure 1 the effect of restat concentration as a positive control on pancreatic lipase inhibitory activity. Here we saw three concentration, 1%, 5%, and 10%. The data generate the test result of lipase inhibitory activity at circular concentration of 1% to 10% or listed, result in different lipase inhibitory activities. And the figure 2, we saw the effect of banana types and fermentation time on pancreatic lipase inhibition. The data show that lipase inhibitory activity tend to increase during fermentation time. During the 9 days of fermentation, Raja banana had a higher lipase inhibitory effect than the kepok banana and ambon banana. The highest lipase inhibitory was obtained on the 12th day on the kepok bananas type, and the 15 days the highest lipase inhibition was the ambon bananas with the inhibitory activity value. The results showed that fermentation banana had succeed in increasing the inhibition of pancreatic lipase, which was higher than orlistat. For the phenolic compound are known to have antioxidant activity, where the length of time tends to affect the total level of polyphenol of banana strains. During the fermentation process, the polyphenol value tend to fluctuate in banana fermentation. In this banana fermentation, the highest total polyphenol in kepok bananas, and the optimal was 9 days of fermentation followed by Raja and ambon banana. Antioxidant activity, each fermented banana fruit drink has a different pattern during fermentation. However, our results show high antioxidant inhibition. In banana fermentation, it can be seen that the longer the fermentation time increase the antioxidant activity value. The optimum in Raja bananas followed by ambon and on the 15 days. The following show pH measurement acidity. During the fermentation process, pH value tends to decrease during the highest pH value was obtained at the beginning of the fermentation, then continue to experience a decrease in pH to the highest acid in the type of Raja banana, followed the ambon banana and kepok banana. The total acid level in this banana fermented beverage The data showed that the highest total acid value was obtained of type Raja bananas, followed by Ambon bananas and Kepok bananas. For the reduction in sugar produced by the amylase activity of cubic culture, the three type of banana, which was quite fluctuating, while the optimum condition of banana fermentation were achieved in fermentation days of 15 on Raja banana, followed by Ambon banana and Kepok banana. Here, yeast and bacteria metabolize sucrose and produce a number of organic acids such as acetic acid, gluconic acid, and glucuronic acid. The following is the result of product produced by fermenting banana variety. And the conclusion of this study it was concluded that various types of banana fermented by symbiotic culture of yeast into health drink product can alter the antioxidant activity and also have anti-obesity effect by inhibiting the activity of pancreatic lipase enzymes. Fermentation time affect the pancreatic lipase inhibitory activity. The highest lipase inhibitory activity and the highest free radical inhibition with a shorter fermentation time of 9 days, which were obtained in the type of Raja banana, followed by Kepok banana and Ambon bananas. The study saw a relationship with high antioxidant activity, the higher the potential for lipase inhibition. Acknowledgement. The author wishes to extend their gratitude to the Ministry, the Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education Republic of Indonesia through the National Innovation Research Program, or INSINAS, in 2018 and 2020 for the Financial and Research Center for Chemistry Indonesian Institute of Science and Technology and Science for the analytical support provided for this study. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. And I think Ms. Dini Ariani already joined us. So we will continue to this third video about nutrient content, sensory properties, and estimating glycemic index of biscuit for diabetic based on local food. Please, co-host, start the video.
Diabetic biscuits made of local ingredients. Good afternoon. Today, I will be present about estimating nutrient content, sensory property, and glycemic index of diabetic biscuits made of local ingredients. We know that diabetes mellitus is a degenerative disease that, if left untreated, can lead to other diseases such as glaucoma, cataract, heart attack, stroke. One of the factors that cause diabetes mellitus is an unhealthy diet. There has been the development of products, especially low-carb foods, intended for diabetics. A glycemic index, or GI, analysis can be used to classify carbohydrates based on their effect on postprandial blood glucose levels. Low glycemic index foods have the potential to be used in diabetes mellitus diet. Local ingredients such as banana flour, white sweet potato, red rice, tempeh flour have the potential to be used as a raw material in biscuit for diabetic. The objective of this research is the present study was carried out to produce biscuit for diabetics using local ingredients. white sweet potato, red rice flours, tempeh flour, inulin, gelatin, sorbitol, margarine, skim milk, vanilla, baking powder, used as ingredient the biscuit. There are 3 formula biscuits. The ingredient for each biscuit formula are presented in the table. The amount of each ingredient used in 3 formula biscuit was different, especially the sweet potato flour. In the F16 biscuit formula, red rice flour didn't use, while another 2 formulas used the combination of sweet potato flour and red rice flour in different amount. About the biscuit formulation, the first step, margarine, sorbitol, egg were mixed to obtain a homogeneous dough. And then in the next step, dough was made of white sweet potato flour, inulin, sweet flour, seaweed flour, egg tempeh flour, baking powder, and vanilla were added to the dough first, or dough. Dough B was then shaped using a stainless steel mold and baked in oven 160 degrees for 20 minutes. For the analysis, to get a selected biscuit, we analyze nutrient composition like water, ice, protein, and fat, and compare with commercial biscuit and SNE diabetic biscuit. And also we sensory analysis this biscuit using hedonic test. After we choose the good biscuit, then after we put the biscuit, we glycemic index GIS measurement of selected biscuit. The selected biscuit. Before the study proceeded, ethical clearance was obtained from the Faculty of Medicine, Gadjah Mada University, Yogyakarta. We collected data for analysis using one-way analysis ANOVA performed with all tested parameters. In the result, we can show that. For the result, we can show that the best preferred biscuit product according to nutrient content was the biscuit F16D. The same thing according to the sensory test, the biscuit F16D is the best preferred. Thus, this biscuit F16D should be then tested to find GI. The number of samples to be consumed during the test GI is determined using the starch, glucose, and carbohydrate analysis. It showed that the number of biscuit F16D samples to be consumed around 90 gram, and the commercial biscuit for the control is around 86 gram, like this. And how about the GI analysis? The participants of the study were 14 people that belong to inclusion criteria that refer to those who were in healthy state, non-diabetic, had normal fasting blood, glucose level, and between 18 and 20 years old, like this. The day before treatment, the subject were required to fasting for 10 hours. And then the subject capillary blood was taken to measure fasting blood glucose level. Thus, they will then eat some food containing 50 gram carbohydrate. The blood sample were taken every 30 minutes, 30, 60, 90, and 120 minutes after consuming the sample food. This is the result. Based on the table, it is known that the peak of the glucose increase occurs in the minute 60 after consumption and decrease gradually in the next minutes. Then, in order to determine the GI, the curve of mean values is made and presented. The GI values of the biscuit were determined using the incremental area under the blood glucose response curve. To determine the GI, the following formula was used, and the result is F16D biscuit GI is 61.31, while the GI of the commercial biscuit is 61.87. Those indexes belong to a moderate values GI. This conclusion of the study is the result of the study showed that F16D diabetic biscuit formula can be further developed into a diabetic biscuit. This formula can be adjusted to a standard biscuit for diabetic SNI, and according to the GI analysis, which is made from the biscuit, which is made from local ingredients, has moderate GI. The authors thanks to Indonesian Institute of Sciences LIPI through DIPA Research Grant, Engineer Muhammad Anwar, and the financial and technical assistant staff of the Faculty of Medicine in University Gadjah Mada for the collaboration and help. Thank you. Be natural, be healthy.
Very nice presentation. And we move to the fourth speaker, Ms. Christina Litai, will be presented about quality evaluation on flake from adalah, Koixlar, Rimal, Lobby, Joby L, flour enriched with eel flour. Please proceed with the video. Co-host, the next video.
There are three varieties of adalah: pulut, unpad, batu. In this study, we make flake product. Thank you for the opportunity that has been given to me. My name is Nur Kartika from Research Center for Appropriate Technology. I represent fellow researcher Christina Litai, Asri Indriati, Rianti Ekafitri, Sri Harti, and Ismu Tribowo. Today, I want to present the result of our research entitled Quality Evaluation of Flake from adalah, Koik Lacrima Joby L flour enriched with L flour. The introduction. Adalah, Koik Lacrima Joby L is a non-wheat cereal that contains rich in starch, protein, calcium, and other minerals. There are three varieties of adalah: pulut, unpad, batu. In this study, we make flake product based on adalah. Flake have a high potential to develop because flake are one of the ready-to-eat food products that serve quickly. Flake based on adalah flour enriched with eel flour is expected to improve product nutrition. The aim of this study is to evaluate flake products' physical, chemical, and organoleptic quality based on athlete floor and ear floor. The study consisted of several stages. First, material and sample preparation. Second, flake making process. Third, physical and chemical characterization of the flake product. Fourth, selection of 3 base formulas using the Garmo effectiveness index method based on the physical and chemical parameter of the product. The last but not the least, selection of the best product through organoleptic test. The method experiment design. The research method used a completely randomized design with athlete floor from 3 athlete seed varieties, pulut, unpat, batu varieties, and yield floor concentration 15%, 30%, 45%. The response variable consists of moisture, ash, protein, fat, carbohydrate, calcium, energy, color, and texture. Data in this study were analyzed statistically using ANOVA at the 5% level. Material and sample preparation. Athlete floor was prepared based on the modified method as follows: weighting, hulling, milling, flooring, and packaging. The step of making eel floor include the preparation of eel as raw material, then sorting, steam using a pressure steamer, and then grind using food processor, and dried using cabinet dryer. The last stage was flooring and sifting. The flake making include preparation, mixing with a mixer, flattening with a dough setter, and baking using an oven at 110 derajat Celsius for 5 minutes, and then cutting and then baking again. Physical characterization of the flake product, Table 2 shows that the increase in eel floor concentration result in decreased crispiness value for flake. Results were similar to Abraha, which reported higher addition protein concentration and decreased crispiness value of biscuit product. The increase in eel floor concentration result decreased brightness because eel floor has a dark color. Flake chemical test result, the addition of eel floor can increase nutritional value. The increase in flake ash and protein content was caused by the increase in the addition of eel floor. Flake from athlete floor, the batu variety, with addition 45% eel floor, has the maximum protein content, was 22.59% high protein. Protein content of athlete floor from the batu variety was 13.70% higher than other varieties such as pulut and unpat. And ash content, the increase in flake ash content was caused by the increase in the addition of eel floor. Flake from athlete floor, the batu variety with addition 45% eel floor has the maximum ash content, was 5.34%. The fat content of flake range from 12.58 until 16.4%, higher compared brown rice flake. And carbohydrate, in addition, eel floor, which was 15 until 45%, shows a decreasing trend in carbohydrate content. And total energy, breakfast food should meet 20 until 25% of daily nutritional needs, with at least 400 kilocalories of energy, Based on this, the flake from the study can be an alternative breakfast food. And calcium, table 3 shows that the higher percentage used eel flour will increase the calcium content of flake. This is a selection of 3 base samples with the DeGarmo effectiveness index method. The selection is based on the criteria, the higher better for a protein as fat, energy, calcium, and color. And the assessment criteria, the lower the better for the moisture content and texture. We can show at the table 4. The first rank with the highest total yield value is sample code A3B3. The effectiveness value of A3B3 is 0.68, followed by A2B3 of 0.644, and the third place is A2B2 of 0.561. And the next is organoleptic test. Flake organoleptic test result for selecting the best sample based on the preference test of the color, aroma, texture, overall acceptance parameter. Flake from Atle floor cultivar Batu with 45% eel floor was selected, which had the highest preference value. So A3B3 is the best product. And the conclusion, the best flake formulation was made from Atle cultivar of Batu floor, and the concentration of eel floor was 45%. The physical property of the base product include texture 296.85 gram force, and color L value 43.39, moisture content 3.84%, protein 22.59%, as 5.34%, fat 12.58%, total energy 426.70 kilocalorie, carbohydrate 55.66%, calcium 970.11 milligram per 100 gram, and by organoleptic test, this product prefer overall acceptance. Thank you. This is the end of my presentation. I apologize if there is a mistake I did. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. And I think we are should take all presentation from the presenter. Now is start for the question and answer. I already find 2 questions in the chat room. So from Ms. Hakiki from Rin to Ms. Dini Ariani, what is the carbohydrate sources used in commercial biscuit light bite as diabetic biscuit comparison? And did the diabetic biscuit from sweet potato flour has a similar GI level with commercial biscuit? I think Ms. Dini, could you answer the question, please?
Okay, thank you. The carbohydrate sources from commercial biscuit is from wheat flour. It is similar include to moderate GI, but I think our biscuit is not from import. The ingredient not from import, just from local. Yes, it is. I think we choose using the local biscuit. Maybe.
Okay, Miss Hakiki, do you have enough for the answer, or you want to
it's
get
already
further?
clear enough. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Dini.
You're welcome.
The second question is from Rohmah Lutfianti from PRTTG to Nur Kartika Indah Mayasti. I want to ask for information on the raw material used. What adalah varieties are used? Ms. Nur Kartika, please give the answer of that question.
Okay, thank you for the question. Plant material used in this research was 3 varieties of adalah, pulut, unpat, batu, obtained from Sumedang Regency, West Java. The first is agrotis variety, known as adalah batu. The seed of this variety become hardened after drying process, so they are suitable for handicraft material. Mayuan variety, known as adalah pulut and unpat. Because of the high content of amylopectin, this variety has been cultured in rice field or backyard and utilized as flour for consumption. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nur Kartika. Any more questions? Please, any other question from the audience, you can put in the chat room or give a raise hand so you can directly ask the question. Are there from the other audience? If you have question for the speakers. Or maybe I just ask the Ms. Nur Kartika, what is adalah? Is it? I'm not familiar with that. So, is it commercially used for flour or not?
Adalah, we know Hanjali, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yes. This is the new.
And not really. People already use it, but not very commercial.
Yes,
like
jali.
Okay. Oh, gali. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you try to improve like our underutilized flower source from Indonesian indigenous plants like that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And for Ms. Hakiki Melani, so do you think the membranes, is it already like other people use it for the purification of enzyme in commercial scale or still under research base?
As far as I know, I don't have many information if it already used in the industrial scale, but I think for the pilot scale, it's already used for the production of enzyme. But for the industrial scale, usually the membrane is using for the purification of the juice.
Okay.
So for the enzyme production, maybe not
yet,
industrial scale, but pilot scale. Yes.
But it's promising because it's give better result than the ammonium sulfate precipitation.
Yes.
Laboratory scale.
Yeah.
Okay. And for Miss Yati Mariati, so which the banana that's using its potential for development of functional food, at least if you want to be for antioxidant or for the lipid inhibitor, that one. So because if we see from the content, it's like some have high phenol, but then the activity is not much different or like that. So what is the more promising from that tricultivar for that if it want to develop further? Miss Yati?
Sorry, Miss Nina.
Yeah.
I'm not here. Can you
Sorry.
repeat? Yes.
I just asked what do you think? If which one is the cultivar is the best if you want to develop for the functional beverage?
Okay.
Three cultivar banana.
Yes, the function, the potential for the commercial, we use Raja Banana is the best. The lipase and antioxidant,
lipase and antioxidant.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because it's like Raja Banana is also like popular for commercial.
Yes.
Banana, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to develop it, what other tests, or you want to go to like preclinical test or something that's needed to be commercial or something?
Yeah. Maybe for the future, we sorry.
Testing for the like
sensory test.
Sensory test.
Yes.
Oh, you haven't, and this is just
yes.
For the activity. You don't yet which one that people
and before
formulation to make it taste good.
Yes, and before taste for pancreatic lipase.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think we just, if are there any more questions from the audience for the speakers? If it's not, we will continue to the second part of this session. It's actually supposed to be 3 speakers. Ms. Rohmah Lutfiani, you are here, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Ms. Vita Kartika, yeah, I think you already here as well. I heard that Mr. Iskandar asked me not attend from the organizer. Yeah, not then. So I think we can start with the presentation from Ms. Rohmah Lutfianti, Effect of Ciplukan, Pisalis angulata, use on lipid profile status and histopathology of liver in rats with streptozotocin diabetes. Please start the video.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you to moderator for this opportunity. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of team, let me introduce myself. My name is Rohmah Lutfianti. I am researcher at Research Center for Appropriate Technology. Today, I would like to present our research entitled Effect of Ciplukan Pisalis angulata juice on lipid profile status and histopathological of liver in rat with streptozotocin diabetes. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the outline of my presentation today. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I would like to explain the background of my research. The plant of Ciplukan have functional properties that are used as alternative to traditional medicine. Antioxidant in Ciplukan plants, it is expected to be able to prevent and reduce non-communicable diseases such as diabetes mellitus. Type 2 diabetes mellitus is associated with an abnormal lipid profile. Several functional foods have therapeutic potential for treating chronic diseases, including diabetes. One plant that has this therapeutic potential is Pisalis angulata or Ciplukan. The development of Pisalis angulata as functional drink also has been carried out by Rohmah et al. And Isabella Salata. Ciplukan beverage product that had the best response to acceptability with the highest phenolic and flavonoid. Ladies and gentlemen, this study I am to evaluate the effect of Pisalis angulata juice on the level of plasma lipid profiles and health of the liver in streptozotocin-induced type 2 diabetes mellitus Mr. rats. Material and method. Fresh fruit and wood ciplukan obtained from Dawan District Subang, citric acid, non-caloric sugar, CMC, and honey. Preparation sample. The pressed ciplukan fruit and woods are stored, which then washed with running water, extraction process, pastured at temperatures 70 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes, then packaged in sterile bottles. This study was approved by the Animal Ethics Commission, Bogor Agricultural University. Experimental design. Animal test, total of 25 rats were kept in cage, separated individually and fed with standard feeding. 5 rats were separated and assigned as the normal group, while the remaining rats were injected with streptozotocin with a single dose of 40 milligram per kilogram. Rat test saw confirmed hyperglycemia were divided into 5 groups. Experimental design parameter, blood glucose level, lipid profile, level toxicity, histopathological observation of liver. Statistical analysis, analyzed using ANOVA. Result and discussion. Antioxidant property of Pisalis angulata. Pisalis angulata fruit juice contain total phenolic content, total flavonoid content, and antioxidant activity. Pisalis angulata juice contain antioxidant activity according to Silveira et al. Revealed that normal weight individual that consume red orange juice each day for 8 weeks decrease low density lipoprotein, cholesterol, and C-reactive protein, increase antioxidant activity in serum, and insulin resistant and systolic blood pressure decline. The characteristic of rat, there were no insignificant differences between group of rat sample from the blood glucose value of basal and after streptozotocin treatment and weight of control and diabetic rat. This is indicate that the sample of rat used in intervention was homogeneous. Effect of treatment on lipid profile, level of plasma, cholesterol, triglycerida, lipoprotein in the control and experimental group of rat. The level of plasma, cholesterol, and triglycerida were significantly increased. Toxicity observation of the liver. The positive control rats group, there is congestion in the majority of large blood vessel and infiltration of small number of monoclear inflammatory cell in the multifocal parenchyma area. Almost completely degeneration hepatocytes. Histopathological observation of the liver. That group N has normal liver, central vein, and sinusoid blood capillary vessel tissue. Meanwhile, group D suffers serious liver damage. Subsequently, it can be seen that administration of DT2 stimulates improvement in liver architecture. It appears that there has been a degeneration of liver tissue as shown by the increase in nucleated hepatocytes. This indicates that there is an effect of DM treatment from ciplukan juice. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to conclusion. Pisalis angulata juice drink has antioxidant to improve the health of the liver in diabetic Wistarat. The consumption of physalis juice will be helpful to control or prevent oxidation, inflammation, and cholesterol in diabetic rats. The result findings support the traditional usage of physalis juice for controlling blood glucose and hyperlipidemia in diabetic patients. Physalis juice treatment indicate their helpful effect in the amelioration of diabetic-associated complications such as hypercholesterolemia and atherosclerosis. Our deepest gratitude is sent to Insinas Grant Research Grant from the Minister of Research, Technology BRIN, Republic of Indonesia, and Indonesian Institute of Science, ELSA. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Ms. Rahma. And I think we continue for if the third speaker not run, so it will be the last presentation from Ms. Wita Kartika Restu from Research Center for Chemistry. It's on the characteristic of amylose fraction of sago starch-based edible films. This video.
Thank you, moderator, for the given time. I'm Wita Kartika Restu. Today, I would like to present our research titled The Characteristics of Amylose Fraction of Sago Starch-Based Edible Films. At first, this is our outline, consists of introduction, method, result, and discussion, and then conclusions. As our introduction, edible films is a thin layer used as a coating for foods. It can extend the shelf life of products. It also can prevent the contamination of microorganisms, and it can reduce the risk of the pathogenic bacterial growth, and also it can hinder the respiration rates, oxygen, and water vapor. And for the sago starch itself, it is produced from pith of sago palm, and the commercial sago starches have been utilized with variable quality. And sago starch consists of 70 until 80% of amylopectin, and then 15 until 30% of amylose. And both amylopectin and amylose can determine the gelatination, the gel stability, the solubility, and the swelling power of the sago starch. And we will focus on the amylose fraction, in which it plays important roles in the starch gelation, and also it is an important quality parameter for the starch-based products. Therefore, our objective is to study the effects of fractionated amylose on the thickness, morphological, and optical properties of the obtained edible films. And here is the previous research regarding the sago starch for the modification and also characterization as the edible coating and edible film consists of sago starch and also the cassava starch. And here is the methodology, which the materials composed of amylose fraction from the sago starch, the glycerols with analytical grade, and also ethanol and N-butanol with technical grade. And then the first one is we did the preparation of sago starch fractionation, which is the sago starch diluted in the aqueous and then heated until 85 degrees Celsius for 1 hour, and then did the centrifugation for 10 minutes at 8,000 RPM, and then we will get the water-soluble fraction in which butanol will be added with the certain variation, and then incubation for 24 hours at room temperature, and the next day we do the centrifugation again and then get the precipitate, which is the amylose fraction itself. And then next one is the last step is washing with ethanol and ether, and then drying with calcium chloride. And after that, we get the amylose fraction samples. And after that, we did the preparation of amylose-based edible films, in which the amylose in the aqueous will be added by glycerol and then heating in a hot plate to form a gel. And the gel itself poured into the petri dish and drying at 50 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. And here is the result and discussion in which the yield of amylose fraction that we get difference dependent on the butanol concentration. From the butanol concentration of 10 until 15, we get the yield of amylose fraction from 25 until 31%. And then it was the opposite for the swelling power, in which the swelling power decreased for 3.89 until 2.37 for the higher concentration. From the data, we can get information that the greater the concentration of butanol that we use resulted in the higher yield of the obtained amylose fraction from sago starch. And the butanol can dissolve the amylopectin fraction, and then it can resulted in high content of amylose. And then the decreasing swell power, this might be due to the decreasing of the mobility of water fraction, and that can inhibit the amylose restructure. And the next one is the thickness characteristic of the edible film from amylose, in which from the less butanol concentration until the high butanol concentration, it resulted the increasing, in which from 0.19 until 0.23. And then this, according to Scurtis et al., it is accordance in which the thickness less than 0.25, and the thicker the edible film, the higher its ability to inhibit the rate of gas and water vapor, so that it can longer the shelf life. And then the increasing thickness of edible films due to the difference in the characteristic of the amylose fraction that we use. And here is the morphological analysis, in which from different amylose from butanol concentration resulted in rough and mineral structure formation due to the aggregation of the amylose. And then it might be also the less optimal blending of glycerol, so that there was aggregation among amylose particles, and then it disrupted the compactness and the smoothness of the surface of the films. And the last one is the water contact angle measurement, in which the higher the butanol concentration that we use in the amylose fraction, it resulted on the higher the contact angle measurement. This might be due to the difference in contact angle measurement might be due to the different unswelling power, as we see on the previous tables. And then the water contact angle on edible film increases along with the decreasing of characteristic unswelling power of amylose fraction. So that the water contact angle increase with increasing in surface hydrophobicity. And the last one, as our conclusions, the film that derived from the amylose fraction of sago starch fractionation has been synthesized. And then the obtained films have a thickness that less than 0.25 millimeters. And also the morphology show the rough and microstructure formation due to the aggregation of the amylose. And then the water contact angle resulted in 45 until 48 degree, and the increasing increase along with the increase in the surface hydrophobicity. That's all from my presentation, and thank you very much, and go back to the moderator for the next session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the speaker. So far, I see I haven't found any question from the chat. So please, since our third speaker not coming, so we continue to question and answer. Please, the audience, if you want to ask or have a comment of these two speakers, you can do directly or writing in the chat. Are there any questions? Okay, it's There is a question from Nur Kartika to Rohma. This Ciplukan juice can reduce triglyceride level and increase HDL cholesterol level in diabetic rats. How significant of the result, especially in fat metabolism? What compounds might be responsible? So please, Ms. Rohma, can you give the answer?
Thank you for your question. Thank you, moderator, for your opportunity given to me. I will try to answer this question. In fat metabolism, both cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and HDL cholesterol play their respective roles. For example, HDL cholesterol has function to carry excess cholesterol in the blood and bring it back to the liver to be metabolized, so as to prevent damage to facial wall bloods due to the buildup of plaque can cause blockage atherosclerosis. So that HDL cholesterol needs to be maintained and increase in number in the body. And what the compound is responsible, the compound is phenolic, which are antioxidant. That's my answer. Thank you, moderator.
Okay, how about the answer, Ms. Nur Kartika? It is you satisfied or you want to ask more question?
Okay, it's enough. Thank you.
Okay. And then from Effie to Vita, why do you use amylose for preparation of edible film, not from amylopectin and native sago starch? Miss Vita, if you can give the answer.
Thank you for the questions. Actually, why we use amylose, not the amylopectin, because the amylose itself is the long chain of the starch, not the branch one like the amylopectin, and based on its characteristic, and then also from other reference, it has good characteristic to be as the edible film, like for the swelling properties and for other hydrophobic characteristic itself. So not since the good characteristic of this amylose, so we use amylose. Why not the native sago starch? Most reference study about the native sago starch that added with amylose, but in this study we would like to try the edible film derived from the amylose fraction itself, not include the sago starch. So, and then we got result quite good for the result for the characteristic, but the obstacle is how we get the high increase of the amylose, because it's quite challenging to have the amylose fraction in higher yield. That's for our study, and that's all for the question. Is it satisfied, Miss Effie?
How about Miss Effie? You want to ask further, or that's enough?
Yes, thank you. Very enough.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Vita, as well. And now another question from Miss Hakiki Brin to Miss Vita. What is the application of the edible film? Will it be used in food products? Please give the answer.
Okay. Thank you for Ms. Hakiki. Thank you for the questions. Actually, the purpose of the study to have the amylose as an edible film for for food product. However, it's still far away to have the this edible film to be used in food products. But the aim is like that, same like previous study. So we still have the same purpose to be focused in food products.
Do you satisfied?
Yeah. Okay, Wita, I have a further question.
Yes.
Because I'm concerning about the using of
butanol. Oh, I cannot hear the voice of Miss Hakiki.
Hakiki, the sound is mute. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Just give the question again because your voice is.
Yeah, because I think the internet connection is unstable.
Yes.
So I have a further question, Vita. First, thank you for your answer. So if you said that it will be used in the future for the food products, but I'm concerning about the butanol that you use in the fractionation. Do you think it will leave a residue of the butanol in your edible films? Because as we know, butanol is quite dangerous for the food, for the human.
Okay, thank you for the question, Ms. Hakiki. Actually, the why we use butanol, because after several study of the literature, or there are some solvent, but the like the methanol, like other alcohol, but mostly the fractionation of amylose use butanol, and then also the safety also regarding the butanol itself. For the next process, we use the higher temperature, so we can confirm that the butanol residue can be overcome, can be out from the our product. So I mean the amylose itself is the ready materials, and then will be used later on as the main material for the edible film, with the several process that include higher temperature. So we can assume that there is no residue left. So from our study like that, Ms. Kiki. Is there any comment, Ms. Kiki? Oh. Maybe the connection? Hello, can anybody hear me?
Connectionnya lost sih.
Oh, okay. I think the committee has
Dear participant, wait for a moment because our moderator is lose signal. Miss Nina will will try to join us again.
sorry, I apologize because the connection in our internet is dead, and now I just can continue again. I think Ms. Hakiki said it's okay for the satisfied with the answer. And since there is, are there any more questions from the audience? Okay, right. That is from Novita, PRTTG Brain to Rohmah. How much of Ciplukan juice should be consumed for lowering cholesterol in humans? Is Rohmah, would you please give the answer? Ms. Rohmah?
Yes, okay. Yes, Mr. Moderator. Thank you for question. This is the consumption of how much of Ciplukan juice should be consumed for lowering cholesterol in human. In human, we didn't do it. We just research in Wistarot. No intervention to human.
Intervention
to human. Yes. In rat, we drink 2 milliliter per day for each rat.
Maybe, but I think for the one who done pharmacology, there is like sometimes a conversion from rat to human. That probably from the beginning, even though it's for the proper clinical test or something should be conducted before we can say as evidence that really have a consume for human.
Yes.
Usually that it can convert it to the human consumer, but still it's just like need the proper clinical trial.
Yes.
Take it as it the effect. Okay. Any other question from the audience? You can ask directly, or since we have times, because the next session will be start at 15:15. But if it's no more question, then I think we end the session, and for you will come to the next part. It will start at 15:15. You can stay in this room or ask for if you want to have a look to the other parallel session. So we should give applause to a wonderful presentation from the audience, and thank you very much for joining the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The co-hosts, they just stay here, isn't it? Until 15:15, or can be back, join in later. Udah ya?
America is one of the most dynamic and innovative companies within the Berke Group. The Berke Group consists of over 35 operating companies in over many industries, including technology, infrastructure, and engineering. Berke America has been in business for over 17 years and has established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that Berkepribadian is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support Berkepribadian to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia. Berkepribadian is one of the most dynamic and innovative companies within the Berke Group. The Berker Group consists of over 35 operating companies in over many industries, including technology, infrastructure, and engineering. Berker America has been in business for over 17 years and has established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that Berkepribadian is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support Berkepribadian to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Hakiki Melani from Research Center for Chemistry.
established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that Werken Jaga Medica is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support Werken Jaga Medica to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia. Werken Jaga Medica is one of the most dynamic and innovative companies within the Berke Group. The Berke Group consists of over 35 operating companies in over many industries, including technology, infrastructure, and engineering. Werken Jaga Medica has been in business for over 17 years and has established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that Werken Jaga Medica is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support Berkepribadian America to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia. Is one of the most dynamic and innovative companies within the Berke Group. The Berke Group consists of over 35 operating companies in over many industries, including technology, infrastructure, and engineering. Berkepribadian America has been in business for over 17 years and has established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that Berkepribadian America is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support Berkepribadian America to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia. innovative companies within the Berke Group. The Berke Group consists of over 35 operating companies in over many industries, including technology, infrastructure, and engineering. Berke America has been in business for over 17 years and has established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that Berke America is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support Berke America to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia. is one of the most dynamic and innovative companies within the Berke Group. The Berke Group consists of over 35 operating companies in over many industries, including technology, infrastructure, and engineering. Berke America has been in business for over 17 years and has established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that American Young America is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support American Young America to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia. Is one of the most dynamic and innovative companies within the Berke Group. The Berke Group consists of over 35 operating companies in over many industries, including technology, infrastructure, and engineering. Berke Young America has been in business for over 17 years and has established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that Berke Young America is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support Berke Young America to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia. is one of the most dynamic and innovative companies within the Berke Group. The Berke Group consists of over 35 operating companies in over many industries, including technology, infrastructure, and engineering. Berke America has been in business for over 17 years and has established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that Berke America is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support Berke America to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia. is one of the most dynamic and innovative companies within the Berke Group. The Berke Group consists of over 35 operating companies in over many industries, including technology, infrastructure, and engineering. Berke America has been in business for over 17 years and has established itself as the major player in the research and the chemical analysis industries. Its customers include many bodies in the government sector, as well as large corporate entities. And its industries include food research, agriculture, petroleum, chemical, environment, and clinical research. We believe that American Young America is very well suited to meet with all stakeholders to support the quality of life and to improve it in Indonesia. We fully support American Young America to meet with all stakeholders and form partnerships to improve the quality of life of people in Indonesia.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jody Arya Laksmono. I will guide the presentation and discussion process in this room. Each participant will be given a presentation time 10 minutes and the discussion session. If there is something that the participant want to ask, I can use the raise hand button or the chat column. However, we appreciate that the participant who want to ask just through the chat column, so the presentation will continue and the discussion will be held at the end of the entire presentation. I will try to be disciplined and punctual for every presentation and discussion that is made. In this session, there are several presenters. Pak Ahmad Tontowi. Pak Ahmad Tontowi, yes, I can see in this room. And then Pak Egy Agustian. Egi Agustian have to join in this room? The committee, maybe you can help the Pak Egi Agustian to move into this room. And then Ibu Yukti Nurani. Yukti Nurani, yes, can see. Atika Rahmawati. Atika Rahmawati, okay, is already in this room. And then Ibu Evi Triwulandari. Okay. All the presenters already in this room, except Pak Egi Agustian. So please to the committee call Pak Egi to join in this room. Have all participants send video to the committee? Already, yes? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, the presenter is already in this room. Then I will start the presentation and discussion in this room. I invite the first presenter, Pak Ahmad Tontowi. Please, the committee to start the video for Pak Ahmad Tontowi.
Thank you, Pak Jody, for the opportunity. Please, committee to present our video. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity to present our result session. I'm Ahmad Tontowi from Technology and also from.
Sorry, the committee maybe something trouble here in the screen.
Today,
the video is not
we will discuss about
showing in the screen. Maybe you can share screen with the video.
I would Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity to present our result session. I'm Ahmad Tontowi from Technology and also from.
Maybe your share screen is like
the
video. Yes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity to present our result session. I'm Ahmad Tontowi from Technology and also from VTS Sumbawa, our team. Today, we will discuss about glycerol expressed and silicon fermentation by Merozina caritica inacese Y67. It is silicol. Silicol is a 5-carbon sugar alcohol. Has numerous beneficial health properties. Silicol has almost the same sweetness as sucrose, but with an energy value of 3 calories per gram to 4 calories per gram of sucrose. Therefore, xylitol has found many applications in food product, oral, personal care, and animal nutrition. One of the problems in silical production by technology step is that it takes several days of fermentation of the substrate by microorganisms to become silical. Some efforts to increase silical production are the selection of yeast strains that are adapted to environmental pressure and optimization of bioconversion through enzymatic reaction or whole cell biocatalytic transformation, and also for optimization of fermentation or by process engineering. Several reports on the optimization of the fermentation include the addition of co-substrates like glucose and also glycerol. Silica is currently produced by chemical reduction of the xylose derived from xylene-rich output sources such as peat and beechwood. The use natural silica producing yeast has been considered as an alternative for silica production. We have Neorisma caridica from Indonesia Cultural Collection was characterized as yeast producing silica with inhibitor tolerance, and it has capability to increase silica production using cell recycling method. One of the substrates used in the silica fermentation is glycerol. In general, glycerol plays an important role in the process of the cell physiology and metabolism of intermediates that play a role in providing energy. Glycerol is a byproduct that is formed from the response of microorganism cell to the pressure of environmental conditions like hyperosmotic stress shock. When there is a pressure of the cell, and the cell will secrete glycerol. This results in imbalance of reduction in cell disruption of regeneration. And in addition, glycerol formation reduces the availability of an important coenzyme for the cellulose enzyme, which participate in the initial step of this process. And objective of this study is to present work related of the effect of a glycerol addition on cellulose to silica bioconversion during the cultivation of Neorisma caridica TC Y67 strain in semi. This is a method for this study. We also using HPLC for the production after incubation. In general, cell growth was affected by the addition of glycerol. The highest cell growth and the lowest 4 grams per liter were found in media containing only stylus as control and glycerol as control sources, respectively. In addition, the results showed that glycerol increased cell growth compared to the control medium within 9 hours of fermentation. This thought to be due to the different transport mechanism of glycerol and cell in use. The glycerol transport system through yeast cell plasma membrane can passive or diffusion, whereas the pentose or the cellulose transport mechanism is created by the generation of a membrane potential due to proton import. Cellulose consumption and silica production by this strain in media containing cellulose or mixture of glycerol are shown in the feature of B and C in the next slide. The media containing only cellulose and EPX yeast carbon cellulose medium containing glycerol 1 gram per liter, so the almost of 100% of cellulose was consumed after 50 hours of fermentation, whereas a medium containing glycerol 10% at 4 gram per liter remains for the end of the fermentation. This is xylitol production, and this is xylitol production in the fermentation. Cellulose was preferred by the Inacc Y67 strain during fermentation, when the glycerol added to the medium was 1 gram per liter. It resulted in an increase of about 80% after 40 hours of fermentation. This is consistent with the cell growth at the end of the fermentation in the before. This is a kinetic parameter of the strain fermentation for its cellulose. So the maximum cellulose consumption have read 1.31 gram per liter per hour occur in the media with the addition. The byproduct of the fermentation of cellulose to xylitol by the strain are glycerol and ethanol. But we have the ethanol was little or no ethanol was produced by this strain, but that was not shown in the presentation. The glycerol is produced during the presentation. However, increase the initial glycerol concentration at 2 and 10 gram per liter, decrease glycerol fermentation. So in yeast that are subjected to osmotic stress and particular glycerol concentration can reach molar level. This is the conclusion of our result. The production of the xylitol during growth of the yeast in medium containing cellulose as a source of effect was positively influenced by the addition of glycerol. The addition of 1 gram per liter glycerol gave the highest xylitol called volumetric productivity and yield YP per S 0.78 gram per gram, whereas glycerol formation was performed without an addition. In cellular growth, Erythema caribica was able to grow on media containing only glycerol as carbon sources. And this condition led to cellular concentration, indicating that glycerol as a carbon source was better than a mixture of cellulose and xylitol. This acknowledgement, the study was financially supported by Ministry of Research and Technology of Indonesia in Sinas year of 200 and also from DIPA of GPT of Life Sciences 221. This is presentation. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Pak Ahmad Tontori, for the presentation. We will continue to the second presenter here. Pak Egi Agustian, but will be replaced by Pak Yul. Pak Yul, okay. Is already in this room. To all of the participants, please do not hesitate if you want to ask or send the suggestion for the presenter. You can use the column chatting. Okay, the committee, please play the video for the second presentation.
Program LIPI and collaboration research. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. My name is Yohan Andrisa, and this time I will present the result of our research entitled The Effect of Ultrasonic Pretreatment on Yield of Cardamom Seeds Essential Oil. Our team consists of Ms. Professor Dr. Anis Laswati, Mr. Egi Agustian, Ms. Dr. Hartiwidya Stuti, Ms. Ade Rahmawati, and myself. The research was supported by National Priority Program LIPI and collaboration research with Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science, University of Jenderal Sudirman. Cardamom is one of the most well-known spices in the world. Cardamom have a high economic values and widely used in food to pharmaceutical industries. Not only essential oils, cardamom contains a lot of components like fat, pigment, protein, cellulose, sugars, starch, minerals, with other components being starch. Cardamom has approximately 31% of fiber content on its skin. Essential oil contains 60 to 80% of cineol, and the rest contain alpha-pinene, beta-pinene, and many other components. In this research, we use ultrasonic as pretreatment, or known as ultrasonic assisted extraction. This is a new extraction technology developed as an alternative method where ultrasonic waves are used to help the extraction process. There is some advantage of using ultrasonic pretreatment, like increasing yield, reduce extraction time, and minimize thermal degradation in oil components due to high temperature. There is also some physical effect of ultrasonic, including sonocapillary effect, sonoporation, and detexturation, which damage to plant cell structure and increasing the yield of essential oil. To starting the research, we do sample preparation where the covered cardamom seed was separated from the skin, then chopped by grinder and sieved until it mass of particle size. Then the cardamom seed was placed in round flask and carried out for 6 hours, with solidity ratio 1 to 20. We call this process as conventional hydrodistillation, which not use the pretreatment by ultrasonic. And we do also the experiment using ultrasonic assisted extraction, where cardamom seeds are treated to ultrasonic wave with amplitude of 30, 60, and 90% for 15 minutes. And the next step, cardamom seeds are hydrodistilled for 6 hours after being treated by ultrasonic. And then the last, the component oil was analyzed using GCMS to know what is the component inside it. This is a graph of comparison of cardamom essential oil acquisition to time. As we look closely to the graph, the ultrasonic assisted extraction result in the release of the same essential oil as conventional hydrodistillation yield just in 2 hours. This is a graph of comparison of cardamom essential oil acquisition to time. And we look closely to the graph. Ultrasonic assisted extraction result in the release of the same essential oil as conventional hydrodistillation yield in just 2 hours. And the effect of all extraction methods are summarized in this table. We can see that the total yield was increased when we use ultrasonic pretreatment from 4.01% to 6.97%. The percentage of CNL also increased from 66.86% to 69.43%. Conventional hydrodistillation takes 5 hours to extract the entire essential oil from cardamom seeds, while the combination of hydrodistillation and sonic acid pretreatment cuts the extraction time, which is under 3 hours. So we can say this method significantly delivers a higher yield of essential oil compared to conventional hydrodistillation. We achieving the optimum time based on this trend line, and this trend line curve is an approach to describing the relationship between time and volume using a second-order polynomial equation. The R square, valued at more than 0.98, indicates that this approach can be validated with high precision for approaching data. A calculus solution based on the second-order polynomial equation is required to determine the optimum time where the maximum yield is achieved. The derivation of the second-order polynomial regression is used to solve the equation. In order to be solved, the equation derivation must be equated with 0. The optimum time illustrated in this PowerPoint is the value of x, which derives from the derivation of the second-order equation. So, the result of the optimum time were obtained of 332.14 minutes for conventional hydrodistillation, and for the ultrasonic pretreatment, when we use 30, 60, and 90%, the optimum time was 183.25, 172.75, and 158.25 minutes for the optimum time. We identified 26 cardamom essential oil components, including alpha-pinene, beta-pinene, bisalmen, limonen, pineol, gamma-terpinen, alpha-terpeniol, terpineol acetate, and the major component of cardamom essential oil is the cineol, which contribute more than 60% of the total content. We studied more that the research of Rosmainen in 2017 achieved cineol content only 64.15%, but when we use ultrasonic pretreatment using 90% amplitude, we achieve cineol content up to 69.43%. This pretreatment sonication with amplitude of 90% gives the largest yield of essential oil compared to other methods, which indicate that the magnitude of amplitude has an impact with the increase of yield in essential oil. All the results can be explained through the cavitation mechanism. When ultrasonic probes generate transversal wave, as ultrasonic waves interact with the solvent, they produce alternating compression and refraction areas between the molecules. In this area, cavitation bubbles form, causing pressure change. The bubble attached to the sample surface, and when it's collapsed, they break down the cell walls, and the chemical component inside it are transferred into the solvent. As a result, the yield of essential oil from cardamom seed has increased. The presence of acoustic streaming helps in the maximization of the cavitation phenomenon. The collapse of cavitation bubble affects the rate at which particle collision become high, causing cell wall distraction. As a result, it is easier to free the components of compounds contained in seed cells, and the cavitation creates a fast-moving solvent flow through the surface cavity of the seed, causing damage to the outer surface, spilling as well as the particle damage During the sonication process, cavitation phenomenon will occur rapidly in a short period of time, maximizing solvent penetration against the seed. The higher the ultrasonic amplitude passing through a medium, the more cavitation bubble will disperse on the surface of the solid particle membranes, resulting in the larger microfractures. And this can be happen and causing the higher yield that we gain in this research. The last one is sonication energy. The energy generated fulfills 10% of the maximum power output of 137.5 watt from the key sonica through energy conversion calculation. The use of 90% amplitude produces maximum energy that is still within 10% of the maximum power output, which is 250 kilojoules, ensuring that the energy that we produce does not exceed the limited or consume excessive energy. After all the explanation, the combination of ultrasonic aspirate treatment and hydrodistillation give us a higher yield and reduce the time process of hydrodistillation. The best condition were obtained in 90% of amplitude with highest yield is 7%. The component we analyzed, we obtained 26 components as CNL is the major component. The breakdown of the large cavitation bubbles in the seed of cell membrane will occur as the amplitude of the sonication wave increase, facilitating the release of oil from the cell and increasing mass transfer. When compared to conventional hydrodistillation, the impact has an effect on the yield of cardamom seed essential oil as well as the short the extraction time. That's all that I can explain about our research. I appreciate all the time and attention. Thank you.
Thank you for the second presenter. We can continue to the third presenter here. What's it? Ibu Yukti Nurani. Okay, please the committee play the video for the third presenter.
Study tilapia and koi. Hello everyone, my name is Yukti Nurani from Universitas Indonesia. Today I would like to present our research paper titled Performance of Anion Plasma Technology to Preserve Protein Food Quality, case study tilapia and koi. As we know, tilapia fish and cow's milk are protein-rich food, but has a fairly short shelf life. So preservation technology is needed so that food ingredients become more durable. And in the last decade, non-thermal processing technology have emerged as an answer to consumer demand for safe and highly nutritious food with characteristics such as fresh, etc. that conventional preservation technology do not have. And among the non-thermal processing technology, one of them is anion plasma. Anion plasma is a kind of cold plasma technology which is composed of negatively charged species. It can be generated through an electric discharge by supplying a high negative voltage to the electrode. Moreover, it can be operated at atmospheric pressure and room temperature, making it suitable for processing thermopile material, such as protein food, and cost-effective, and also produce a small amount of ozone, which is safe for long-term use. In recent years, anion plasma has become to be widely applied, especially for air control. And in food application, it is reported that anion plasma able to preserve ready-to-eat table grapes. In this study, anion plasma is used to preserve tilapia and cow's milk. So the objective of this study is to determine the Effect of preservation using NM plasma technology on food quality include pH, weight loss, organoleptic, microbial, and protein content during 7 days of storage. Our experiment consists of 3 main methods that are installation of NM plasma system, treatment and storage, and food quality analysis. Here's the schematic of NM plasma system. NM plasma is generated via a 12-volt DC negative ion generator that produces total negative ion more than 2 million ion per centimeter cubic from 5 centimeter from the plasma source and up to 10 million ion per centimeter cubic from 20 centimeter. And the ozone level were around 11 to 24% ppm. And next is treatment and storage. All tilapia fish was exposed to NM plasma for different processing time, that is 5 to 15 hours, and then left at room temperature. And for cosmic, it is 5 to 30 minutes, and then left in the refrigerator. And the last is food quality analysis, include pH value measurement, weight loss, organoleptic analysis, microbial analysis, and protein content. Here's the result of pH value measurement. Based on picture, there was no change on pH value. And the decrease in pH value of food is caused by the formation of reactive nitrogen species or RNS, which then react with the surface water of the food. RNS such as nitric oxide induce nitric acid formation and consequently lower pH value. In the study, exposure to NM plasma did not cause change in pH. This indicates that nitric oxide is not formed. And in addition, this can also explain that the type of reactive species produced is reactive oxygen species or ROS, not RNS. And next is weight loss result. Based on picture, you can see that tilapia fish preserved for 15 hours had higher weight loss value than tilapia preserved for 5 hours, 10 hours, or even control. This indicates that exposure for 15 hours break the water muscle bond. This is probably due to the fish structure alteration. And however, this result was preferred by consumer as evidenced by the organoleptic score of tilapia with an exposure time of 15 hours, which was highest. And in cosmic, there is no weight loss. This is because the exposure is only in a short time and stored at cold temperature, so that the quality of cosmic is better maintained. And here's the organoleptic quality result. This visual documentation, and this is the figure of organoleptic score. Based on feature, it can be seen that the highest score was obtained for tilapia fish preserved for 15 hours and cosmic for 15 minutes. And this will be used as the exposure time to evaluate the effect of NM plasma exposure on microbiological and protein analysis. And the next is microbial contamination. Based on picture, we can see that detection of any amount of microbial contamination of the treated sample more than those that were not treated, so that NM plasma were able to inhibit microbial growth in the tilapia and cosmic. This phenomenon occurs because microbes experience oxidative stress from ROS. Some are damaged and some die. But the ability of NM plasma is still limited because it has not able to meet the standard set by Indonesia National Standard, which is 5 log for fresh fish and for cow milk is 4.7 log. The small decrease in log value is also probably due to the protective effect of bacterial against ROS. Example is superoxide dismutase. And the last is protein content result measurement. The protein content of treated sample was higher than that of the untreated sample. The results showed that animal plasma were able to maintain protein content in tilapia and cow's milk. The tendency of protein content in tilapia was inconsistent. The decrease is caused by the use of protein by microbe for growth, and the increase can also be caused by microbial activity that degrade complex protein into amino acids. It was also explained that the phenomenon of increasing protein content was a relative change, result of a decrease in the dry matter content such as carbohydrate and fat as the result of microbial activity. And for post milk, there seems to be a tendency for the protein content to decrease with storage time. The decrease in protein content is caused by the activity microbe, which initiate the depolymerization of milk protein into free amino acid, then used for bacterial growth. Based on previous discussion, the results showed that there is no change in pH value. The organoleptic quality and protein content of the preserved sample were higher than that of the unkept sample. And furthermore, the microbial contamination of the preserved sample was lower than that of the unkept sample, although they still did not meet the microbial standard. And on the other hand, the water content of preserved tilapia is lower than that of the unkept. It is usually avoided as it reduces the freshness of the food. And in conclusion, animal plasma technology has a good impact on the food quality of tilapia and cow's milk with some limitation. However, it seems that the development of animal plasma technology as an alternative for preserving food ingredients will still need to be studied further. And that is all what I want to share with you.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. So we can continue to the another presenter. Yeah, I will invite the co-presenter Atika Rahmawati to present your research. Please the committee to play the video. And please do not hesitate for the all participant who wants to be asked or send some suggestion for the presenter. You can write in the chat column. Okay, can we continue to the next presenter? Please wait a moment. Maybe the committee will have trouble here to share the screen, the video. Okay.
Today I will present my research with the title Comparison of Extraction Solvent Used for the Extraction Total Phenolic Content from Pegagan using Microwave Assisted Extraction. I'm Atika Rahmawati and my research partner is Boy Arif Fahri and Rina Aulia Safikri from University of Jember, Chemical Engineering Department. And this is our outline, the first introduction, then material method, result and discussion, and the last is conclusion. The introduction is Pegagan or Centella asiatica is the one of the essential herbal plant that has benefit in the many sectors such as health sector, pharmaceutical, and the others. And Centella has a commonly used for herbal tea, food additive, and cosmetic additive. Centella has a 4 bioactive compounds such as acetic acid, acetic coside, madicasic acid, and the madecacoside. And the bioactive compound from Centella asiatica has a various benefit. They are wound healing, inflammatory agent, anti-photoaging, antioxidant, and scar management. And to extract the bioactive compound from Centella asiatica, we can use several methods, such as maceration extraction, socket extraction, subcritical water, and microwave assisted extraction. But in this study, we focus on the microwave assisted extraction because of the framework of green chemistry, and the microwave assisted extraction have several benefits, such as a short time extraction and the heat and mass transfer can enhance the extraction yields. And microwave generate heat in a polar liquid medium, which increase the temperature and high pressure. So it can be enhance the yield extraction. From the previous study, to extract the pegagan, the researcher used MEA using ethanol solvent, subcritical water, solvent-free microwave extraction, and socket extraction using ethanol solvent. But from previous study, there are no comparison about the solvent. There are no comparison about the solvent usage. And the aim of this research is to extract the total phenolic content from Centella asiatica using microwave acid extraction with 2 different solvent used. They are ethanol and distilled water. In addition, in the effect of microwave power, radiation time, and solvent concentration on the resulting total phenolic content have been studied. Why we use total phenolic content for this study? This is because the TPC is one of the main group of phenolic compound, where phenolic compound in the research or development, phenolic compound explore qualitative and quantitative approach to analyze the abundant bioactive compound in natural resources such as Centella asiatica. And this is material and method we use in this research. This is Centella. Centella we treated by the drying and sieving in 40 mesh in particle size. And this is chemical. There are ethanol, distilled water, sodium carbonate, and Folin reagent. And this is our microwave acid extraction. This is microwave with the modified with the drilling hole on the top of microwave. And this is a variable we use in this research. The variable are solvent concentration, radiation time, and microwave power for the ethanol solvent. And for the distilled water solvent, we use radiation time and microwave power. And then this is analysis. We use total phenolic content analysis and statistical analysis. For the total phenolic content analysis, we use spectrophotometry UV vis. We use a wavelength of 764 nanometer. We use spectrophotometry UV vis with a gallic acid standard solution. And for the statistical analysis, we use Minitab 18. The data were analyzed by using ANOVA with a confidence level of 95%. And the ANOVA will representative analysis to describe normality, homogeneity, and significant variable for the response study outcomes. And all the experiments were performed in duplicate. And this is a result for our research. From the table, we can see that the differences solvent and the differences total phenolic content. Ethanol and distilled water have a total phenolic content because the solvent property is an essential factor. With high dielectric constant can absorb more microwave energy. and different solvent influence the extraction result. And this is because the differences of the polarity of the solvent. The polarity of the solvent can provide a wide variation in the level of bioactive compound in the extract. Plant with a high level of polar compound will dissolve in solvent with high polarity. But in this case, solvent with 50% concentration is more effective than distilled water, and this is similar with research from Kosan and C, which state that extraction of bioactive compound with ethanol solvent 50% is more effective than distilled water, and this is a polarity give a different result from the different phytochemical. Therefore, polarity is a significantly affect the variation of the extraction result. Then this is an effect of experimental factor on total phenolic content. The first is microwave power. Microwave power total phenolic content have increased with the microwave power, so that bioactive compound has improved as the microwave power increased from 300 to 600. This result can be explained as the microwave power increase, improving the solubility and diffusion of a bioactive compound out of the plant matrix. And increases pressure in the cell wall, promote or release a bioactive target compound. However, if the microwave power is above 700 watt, it can be reduced bioactive compound because too high power ascribed to degradation of bioactive compound. And the second effect is the ethanol concentration. This is from the figure we can see that the more concentrate of the ethanol more concentrate of the ethanol give a smaller total phenolic content. This is because pure ethanol concentration will produce extract with the most negligible total phenolic content. Pure ethanol in the extraction of polyphenol is highly dependent on the polarity of the solvent. And the pure solvent has ineffective of the separation of polyphenol from material from plant. And from the results, the ethanol concentration at 10 to 50 increase the total phenolic content, while ethanol concentration of 90% decrease the total phenolic content. That statement follow research conducted by Nam, which state that the ethanol concentration from 10 to 50 increase the total phenolic content. In comparison, ethanol concentration above 50% result in decreases total phenolic content. And the last is effect of the radiation time. The effect of radiation time on total phenolic content using distilled water or the ethanol solvent have uptrend for 5 minutes to 10 minutes and decrease for 10 minutes to 15 minutes. This result is similar with Butsawan, which stated that the content of bioactive compound has uptrend from 0 to 10 minutes, and then the trend has constant and will be decreased from 10 to 15 minutes. And this is an analysis from the statistical analysis. This is ANOVA analysis from the ethanol solvent, and this is ANOVA analysis from the water solvent. For the ethanol solvent, we can see that the p-value of ANOVA analysis is 0. It means 0 is less than 0.05. That conclude the variable is significant with the variable. And the analysis of the ANOVA data show that the microwave power radiation time at ethanol concentration have significantly influence of the total phenolic content. And from the ANOVA analysis, we have R square is 97 0.46%. That indicated that the model is suitable for the experimental. And this is an analysis for the distilled water solvent. We can see the p-value is more than 0.05, that the variable is not significantly affect for the response. So this is not significantly affect for the response, but the R-square value is 80.57. That indicated the model is the model is suitable for the experimental. And this is a comparison extraction result using ethanol, distilled water, and solvent-free microbial extraction. With this is a total phenolic actual that we experiment, and this is a prediction from the Minitab. We can see the ethanol and distilled water have a predicted and actual result have a similar result. Thus, the model's equation from Minitab it can be used to predict the total phenolic content with variation with a wide range of variable of microwave power, radiation time, and solvent concentration. This is a optimal value for the ethanol solvent and distilled water solvent. Then it can be concluded that the ethanol solvent was more effective than distilled water and the solvent free. And this is conclusion of our study that the total phenolic content using ethanol solvent give the maximum result of 52.128 milligram gallic acid equivalent per gram sample at the operating condition at 450 watt microwave power, 50% ethanol concentration, and 15-minute radiation time. While the total phenolic content for the distilled water solvent is 45.65385 milligram gallic acid equivalent per gram sample at the operating condition of microwave 450 watts and 10 minutes radiation time. And from analysis ANOVA, we have R-square for ethanol solvent is 97.46%, and for distilled water is 80.57%. That the two R-square is fit for the model, so it can be predict it can be predict the total phenolic value for wide range variables. And the most optimal solvent to produce the phenolic content is ethanol solvent. This is because ethanol solvent gives the best result of total phenolic content. The ethanol solvent is a non-toxic organic solvent, and this is a reusable and relatively cheap, and also environmentally friendly. Furthermore, we can use aqueous ethanol solvent to extract various bioactive compounds from natural sources when we use it for food uses. And this is the last of our presentation. Thank you for your attention, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for Atika for the presentation. Yeah. Okay, we can go or continue to the last presenter here, Bu Evi. Actually, there is one again the presenter, but he not ready to send the video, so we can continue the presenter of him. So the last presenter here is Ibu Evi. Please the committee to play the video for the Evi presentation. Thank you. Can we start?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank the Committee of ISAC 2021. Today, I would like to present our research results with the title Characterization and Modification of Starch Using Lactic Acid Oligomer. The background of this research is the problem of synthetic polymer, as conventional plastic packaging needs a long time to decompose naturally. Therefore, generate waste accumulation and very high landfill pollution. One of the research studies to alleviate this environmental problem is the development and utilization of biodegradable polymers. In addition, the utilization of biodegradable polymers is also an effort to solve the issue and future oil shortage. So, it is expected can replace the petrochemical polymer. Starch is one of the polysaccharides that potential for polymer material to eliminate the raw materials problem of plastic. Starch is one of the candidates for the biodegradable film because it has good barrier and physical mechanical properties and is abundant in nature. Nevertheless, starch has limitations concerning its hydrophilicity, hygroscopic nature, thermal instability, and breathness. To overcome the limitation and improve the performance of starch bioplastic, several technologies have been conducted. One of these is chemical modification. Regarding the efforts to increase hydrophobicity and water resistance of starch, chemical modification using hydrophobic groups has been widely studied by chemical reaction with hydroxyl groups of the starch molecule. The most extensively chemical modification technique of starch is by esterification or acylation using hydrophobic compounds that are commonly used are anhydrates, carboxylic acid, and Zhu et al. Have reported that the use of maleic anhydride, lactic acid, and methyl acrylates for chemical modification of starch. Among these hydrophobic compounds, lactic acid grafted starch had the best relative hydrophobicity than maleic anhydride and methyl acrylate. On the other hand, Tudoraci et al. Have reported that lactic acid modified starch has higher solubility in water and polylactic acid modified starch. It is indicated that PLA Based on this report, so the objective of this research is to modify starch with a lactic acid oligomer. The next is experimental section. The method consists of three-step reaction. Step 1 is oligomerization of lactic acid, and second step is esterification of lactic acid oligomer with acetic acid, and the third is esterification of starch